if you could create your own Digimon, what would it be called and what would it look like?
Wow.
I have actually thought about this at great length.
Welcome, friends and fans, to another edition of GalaxyCon Live, where we are bringing the convention experience directly to you. And today, we are going back to the digital world with the cast of Digimon Adventure. And now, let us activate our Digi-devices and see who we find. Our first returning guest today is an actress whose body of work includes Naruto, Danny Phantom, and of course, Sonic the Hedgehog. Today, she joins us as the voice of Sora. Please welcome back Colleen O'Shaughnessy.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me. Good to see you guys.
Oh, welcome back. So good to have you again. How have you been?
Fantastic. So good. Thank you. I'm overflowing in goodness.
I know. I just, so many things we could talk about Sonic, but it's too soon, I think.
Sonic Day.
yeah, it is. We were talking about Digimon, but we're so looking forward to the day that we can. And of course, as I said last time, I am, and remember, I will always be a fan of the Wasp and Avengers. And we just had Fred on 2 weeks ago, and I was like, let's get an Avengers thing going.
Oh, yes, please. I would love that.
Yes, awesome. let's get that band back together. But everything is good in your world, Colleen?
Everything is fantastic in my world. How about your world?
I am well. I am in Fort Lauderdale at our offices down here. The weather is nice. Things are good. And let's bring out our next guest, and let's start talking about Digimon. And he is an actor and mentalist whose roles include Duel Masters, Wolf's Rain, and of course, Akira. Today joins us as the voice of Tai. Please welcome Joshua Seth.
Thank you for the applause. Oh, this is so kind. The lovely Colleen O'Shaughnessy and Mr. Patty himself.
Joshua, how you doing, boss?
Copacetic. Yourself?
I am well in my corner of the world. Things are good in yours?
Yeah, I'm not that far from you. You said you're in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and I'm in St. Petersburg, Florida.
Oh, nice. Well, yeah, I'm down here at our offices. I hang my hat in Orlando, and so we're stones throw away from each other. And real quick, Joshua, I mean, first of all, again, on your extended body of work, I think we all owe a debt to the impact that Akira made and has continued to make in bringing animation awareness to the West. And on a personal note, I am and remain a huge fan of Giant Robo.
Yeah, I saw that. That's on the autographs there. That was a deep cut, and one of the earlier pieces of work in anime that I did a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, we won't say too long. We don't want to date ourselves, but welcome, both of you. Welcome to the GalaxyCon virtual stage. Our team is in a chat room right now, pulling out the questions for us. I just want to throw this on out for each of you. What's the best memory that both of you had taken from being a part of Digimon?
Oh, wow. The fans, honestly, everyone, especially
good answer.
Well, but it's so true, because we go to these conventions now and people come up and they're like, you were my childhood. And that's just, wow, that first of all, it's a little pressure, but just that feels so good to know that what we did meant something to so many people. It's,
what she said, which is true, especially after the pandemic and everybody being sort of isolated. I just did my first convention back in 2 years, a couple of weeks ago, and it was really kind of overwhelming, but in a good way. The same thing, they say you were the voice of my childhood, and then I look and they look to be about 30, and I'm like, I feel very old suddenly, because you're not a child anymore. But we're all children at heart, after all. But in terms of the production of Digimon, I know exactly what that memory would be. It would be when we went to the premiere of Digimon the movie, because as a voice actor, you're disconnected from the finished product. And we were sort of making these in early episodes, not knowing how much of a cultural impact it would have, really until that night when the Fox sent a limo to my door and a bunch of us all arrived on the back lot, and there was a red carpet and people from Entertainment Tonight doing the interviews, and I still have pictures and clippings and stuff from that. And it was really mind-blowing for a voice actor to have that experience and see it in a theater with other people.
I didn't get a limo.
Sorry. Yeah, Sorich was in it. I have the pictures. There was one of our
directors. For you guys.
Yeah. Why did it send you one?
I barely got an
I don't know.
invite.
Make sure you get one as Tails then.
I am going to that premiere.
Yes, your time is now.
And just out of my sheer curiosity, when you guys were doing Digimon, was that at the tail end of magnetic tape, or was it digital at that point?
I don't know.
I have no idea because the mics are the same. It was a Neumann mic.
I mean, we didn't have to do any cutting or anything. They didn't have us like snipping things together.
No, I'm saying you did, but maybe they had to run it back. We got to direct that again or whatever.
No. It wasn't on tape. Yeah, it wasn't on tape. I know what he's talking about because I went to film school. And when I went to NYU to Tisch, and we had to cut things on physical tape on a flatbed Steenbeck, it was called, and roll them back, and then take a grease pencil and mark them and hang them and stuff. That was maybe 5 years beforehand that was happening.
Okay, you're out of that question.
We're not that old.
I am apparently.
Yeah. Well, you were at Tisch. I was down the road at SVA about the same time. So yeah,
doing that sort of thing.
Yeah. The previous days. We are going to go into audience questions. Let's switch over to our first one, and this comes from Ashley, who would love to know what would be your first reaction if you saw your character in real life.
Why are you wearing that helmet?
If I saw my character in real life, my first reaction would be to pinch myself. Am I dreaming? Right. And then I would wonder, is this a person in a costume, or is it the actual character and I myself am in the digital world vis-a-vis some alternate reality? Because I don't want to immediately start talking to Tai as the Tai were a real person and as though I don't know how costumes work.
First, check if you're crazy.
Yes, always good policy.
Yeah, there you have it. Ashley, great one to start us off with. Thank you for that.
Yeah, thanks.
What do we have next? From Rosalind Bly, do you do anything special to protect your voice while voice acting or just performing in general?
I do.
Yeah.
There's lots of things you can do. First of all, I hydrate. I drink so much water. That and sleep are just huge. Those are just kind of basics. If I'm feeling very tired, I'll go to tea. But I do have vocal warm-ups that I do, and I mostly use them for when I'm singing, but I don't know, lately I've needed them more. I don't know if I'm just tired or using it too much or what, but I'll do my singing warm-ups before a session sometimes.
Same thing, vocal warm-ups. I would add breathing warm-ups as well. A lot of voice actors that have careers for a long time have a background in singing, and I know like I did 8 shows a week, musical theater for touring Broadway casts from the time I was 8 to 18. And that's how I learned to use my voice as an instrument and not strain it and not lose it, which is more of an issue with video games than it is with a show like Digimon. But still, also what Colleen was saying in terms of hydration and even diet, like I stopped eating dairy a long time ago because it makes little clicks and little sounds that glop up the works on the mic. So room temperature water, breathing exercises, vocalization.
Bananas are good too.
Yes, absolutely. And Rosalind, there you go. Good luck in your voiceover endeavors. And what do we have next? From Aaron, which Digimon character would you want to go to Disney with?
Agumon.
Yeah,
good places to eat.
That's right. Hi, Tai. I would say, yeah, I would as well. I would take Agumon. Maybe the bigger one. I have a bigger one here too. Let's see.
Oh, look at him.
I take that little guy.
So cute.
Well, let's follow up then. Is there a specific Disney park you'd go with them to? Besides Magic Kingdom, Epcot.
You know what? I haven't seen the one where the Star Wars exhibit is in Florida. Which one is that? I would go there just because I want to
Disney
see
Studios.
Disney Studios. Okay, I've never been there.
It's
and I'm a parent. Does that make me a bad parent, Colleen?
Yes, it does. No, it doesn't. We waited to take our kids to Disneyland too. We didn't want it to be like this. We didn't want to get annual passes and be like, this is what you do every weekend or every day, and you go to Disneyland and
you'll make it more special.
Yeah, we really did. And then now that I have a teenage daughter, she and I we did get passes this time because when they came back around, because I only have her for a couple more months. So that's been really fun. So I'd take Agumon to Disneyland because we know, and I'd bring Maggie because she has that map of Disneyland like in her head. She can get us through and around. And
there you have it. All right, Aaron, fun question. Thank you.
Izzy would be a good person to bring for the same reason.
Yes, because he'd have everything up on his,
Yeah, on computers.
Digivice.
Well, there you have it. What do we have next? This one from Allison. Do you have any favorite lines from Digimon?
Of course, they fell out the back of my head as soon as you asked that.
Mine too. I had one. If only your brain was as big as your hair. It's something like that. That might not be exact, but it's close.
Yeah, there's some quote about like first I have a foolproof plan. I have a foolproof plan. First, we eat something. Then after that, I'm open to suggestions. That would be
there you go. That'll work. There you have it, Allison. Thank you. What's next? From Andre and Mark. If you could create your own Digimon, what would it be called and what would it look like?
Wow.
I have actually thought about this at great length. Yes.
All right.
Really? Well, do tell.
Oh yeah, yes. And the result of all my years of introspection on this point have brought me to simplicity itself, because art, elegance, and simplicity is when you're done removing everything, like a sculptor, what is left, that is art. I would simply call it Mon. My Digimon would be Mon. And it would just be 2 eyes and a mouth. The essentials.
I would make my son design mine because he's an artist and I am not. And then he and I would collaborate on what we would call it, and we'd go on for hours, and he would say something Mon and I would say something else Mon, and it would be like, it would go on for days. And he would do the ultimate designer because he is the artist in the family.
Then Mon would come and eat him.
Oh no, there wouldn't be friends?
That's all he does. He just eats things. Yeah.
Oh, then he should be called Nom then.
That was that's when he digivolves, he becomes Nom.
After he eats my guy. Great.
Yeah.
Or Pac-Mon.
See?
Yeah. Yeah. We have a spin-off show in the works here, you realize.
Taking notes. Andre and Mark, thank you. Fun question. What's next? From Steve. I'll broaden this out. What inspired you to get into voice acting? If there was some
I like the cartoon question because I realized well into my career that all of my cartoon watching was just the bedrock of my career. Seriously, I watched Saturday morning cartoons. I watched the Flintstones and Scooby-Doo, and I mean all of the Warner Brothers stuff, the Looney Tunes. I went around the house being the big chicken and Elmer Fudd and all of that. The Muppets. Those were all of my early influences, and I went around the house being Captain Caveman and Miss Piggy. I was karate chopping people left and right. So all of those things influenced me. And then that it didn't occur to me for that to be my career until much later. I was doing musical theater at University of Michigan, and an instructor said that to me. Excuse me. Coughing. And that's when the light bulb went off and went, that's what I want to do.
I got an image in my head of you as a little girl running around going, Captain Caveman!
I did. All over the house. My mom's like, okay, enough already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I'm seeing a lag here, so sorry if there's time going by before I'm responding. I heard Captain Caveman, and then about a minute later I saw it, so I don't know what that means. But I'll talk as though if you could Patty, if you can hear me, give me a thumbs up or something.
You're good, Bob. You're good. Yeah,
it's all good.
You're
It's
fine,
weird.
yeah.
There's a lag on my end. See, I told you about musical theater. So many of us have a musical theater background. My dad was a radio psychologist, so my early influences with the mic was going to see his show. He had a very popular afternoon show every Monday through Friday, and sometimes I'd go up after school and sit in the radio studio or get on the mic with him. He was sort of like Frasier before Frasier, and I'd goof around and make funny voices. The cartoons that I had kind of hippie parents, so I wasn't really allowed to watch TV, but I remember like Bugs Bunny and Rocky and Bullwinkle and some of the Hanna-Barbera stuff, some of the, exit stage left kind of stuff, or under Shmoo Show.
I was the Shmoo too. I love the Shmoo.
Some old school weird stuff. Of course, like Bugs Bunny, but mostly it was just doing comedy, or what passed for comedy at that age, on the mic on my dad's radio show. And then I got my own radio show, WNYU New York City, and started prank calling myself because it was late night and I didn't think anybody would be listening or nobody was calling in to request stuff. So I'd be doing voices to myself, like as though I were the caller, Jonathan Winters style. Young man, do you have any klezmer music? Ma'am, this is a college radio station. Well, the young people need to be exposed to klezmer, don't you? Well, I'll look for it. But next, the Sex Pistols, that sort of thing.
Yep. There you have it. It's inspiration comes from a lot of sources. Great question. Thank you for that one. What's next? And the question we get so often, we made a graphic for it. This one comes from Stacy, and this is the one that comes up a lot. What other fandom would you have loved to have seen have a crossover with Digimon? And this could be Star Wars, Marvel superheroes,
Marvel.
Shakespeare.
I would say
Marvel?
Marvel. No?
No, Marvel works. Yeah, Josh, you got a fandom you like to see crossover into Digimon.
You know what would be fun? Would be the Mandalorian, little baby Yoda with the Digimon.
Yeah.
Digimon trying to take the Mandalorian home. That would be great.
Yeah. I could see it. I could see both of them. All right.
It's like the same size.
Very true. All right, there you have it, Stacy. Fun one. Thanks for sending that in. And what do we have next? From Fyra. What's the hardest part about being a voice actor?
Waiting to hear if you got cast in something. We audition all the time, which I consider that part of the job. And I never say I have to do my auditions. I get to do these auditions, because without that opportunity, then you wouldn't have the work, and it's this vicious cycle. But that, especially if it's something that you audition for that you just, I would love to work on this project, and just, but you have to let it go. But that part is, the waiting. It's like,
Yeah, very true.
Yeah. For me, it's always been lack of creative control, that you're work for hire and you have to read lines somebody else wrote in a way that somebody else wants. I mean, that's one of the reasons I do my own shows now, because I wanted more creative agency over the product that I was putting out, which I guess makes me not an actor. It's too limiting.
You're a performer and entertainer, but yeah, you wanted less notes.
No, notes are fine. Collaboration and direction is good. Yeah. But you wanted like again in Digimon the movie. I remember there was a scene that Jeff Nimoy, excellent director that we had there. We were going back and forth, and I was saying I really feel that when I say this line, like we shouldn't have any music or effects. It should just be in the clear. And I was underwater in this one scene. I can visualize it right now, and I thought it would just have so much more impact in the theater if I just say the line and it just echoes out there and there's nothing else, and just let it hang there in the air. No, they way overproduced the scene, went the exact opposite direction, and it's like it wasn't my place as the voice actor to even have any say in that. For me, that's the toughest part. You can't make the thing the way you want to make it, because you're not the writer, you're not the director, you're not the producer. You're just this one. Sometimes fans don't seem to really understand that. It's like we have a very specific role to play within defined constraints, especially anime.
Yeah, very true. Absolutely, very, very true. Fyra, great question. Thank you for that one. What's next? From Dave, what similarities do you share with your Digimon characters?
Hair.
Yes, you look exactly like him. And I know you wear those goggles. I know you do. I feel like Sora was always sort of like the mom of the group, and that's totally me. I have 2 kids, so there you go. But with my friends, with people that I know, I tend to be the caretaker. Did you eat? Did you zip up your coat? Drink your water, stretch. I'm the looking out for people person.
Yeah, there you have it. All right, Dave.
Tai, well, I'll give you a real answer, which is, Tai's got the crest of, I have a crest of courage. I should have put it on over there. And so I do always think, what's the courageous thing to do? What's the right thing to do? The way that character does, like what's the highest, best response that I can have in this situation that's to the benefit of my friends and family. And like Tai always is thinking of others that way.
Yeah, I take that.
So just being a good person,
Yeah. Dave, thank you. That was a good one. What do we have next? Here's one from Frank. What was everybody's first job as an actor?
Well, my actual first paying job as an actor was with the Peanut Butter Players in Detroit. It was a children's theater group, luncheon theater for kids by kids. And so we did like Snoopy and You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, and Tom Sawyer. I can't remember all the shows that we did, but that was I think I was 12 when we started. So that was my first paid job as an actor. My first paid voiceover job was a Reporter Barbie book. One of those books where you push the button. It's fun to be a reporter. It's fun to be a reporter. It's fun. I was Skipper. That was my first paid voiceover job.
All right,
Wow.
Right on.
I'll answer it in 2 parts as well, which is my first paid acting job was in musical theater. I was Prince Chulalongkorn in Yul Brynner's touring Broadway cast of The King and I. And that went on for months. And then I was Artful Dodger in Rip Taylor's touring cast of Oliver, and did actually 4 different productions of Oliver over the years, and a lot of musical theater. And then my first paid voiceover gig was for Disney. I still remember the line, Mom, Dad, can we go to Disneyland? It's the Magic Kingdom, buckaroos. And that was it.
Wow.
And the rest, as they say, is history.
There you go. Wow, that's 200 Yul Brynner. What was that like?
Intense.
Yeah.
but Rip Taylor was scarier because he had false wisdom teeth, and he would, right before we would go out on stage, he'd do this with his tongue and click his front teeth out backstage, and never failed to freak me out. And then boom, we're through the curtain. I can't believe he would do that to a kid. I can't remember. I feel like it was just the 2 teeth would come out like fangs. Oh my God. Yeah. And I was like 10 years old.
Oh, that'll do it. All right. Frank, great question. Thank you for that one. What do we have next? Jonah, what would your character's theme song be?
Wouldn't it be the Digimon theme song?
Yeah.
You mean like this?
Digimon.
Is that coming through?
Yeah.
I'll cut it before we have to pay a licensing fee.
Digimon are the champions.
All right, well, that's the theme song for everybody. If you had to pick a theme song for your character specifically.
Cut the music.
I don't know. Does Tai have a theme song?
I thought
If you could pick one, yeah, you can pick one for him.
Yeah. Another song.
The
Hey, but
love.
One of my, you know what?
song
Okay, fine.
Sora.
One of my son's songs. Let me look through. Yeah, it would be this. So it seems, Colleen, like both of our spawn have artistic tendencies. So Tiger, he's 10 and he makes electronic music, and I would say this song. This is my favorite song he's made.
I like it.
And there we go.
Nice. Good
Yeah.
for him.
Definitely, that works. All right, Jonah, there you have it. Thank you. What do we have next?
Wait. Before we move, sorry.
No, Ron,
Before we
what?
move, he is also a fan of Sonic, and he made a Sonic one as a tribute to Sonic, which is this.
No way.
All right, lay it
Yeah.
on us.
He plays that video game a lot and said it reminds him of the coins.
I love it.
You got to throw that one in there. Okay.
Nice.
All right, there you have it. Jonah, thanks again. And what do we have next? From Raleigh, if you wanted to be a contestant on a game show, past or present, what would you like to be on?
I'll take it. I'd like to be on my game show. Let's do it. Right now, here's the game show where the host reads cheesy news question. Wait a sec. Breaking news? Are you saying break? Yes, that's right. A man has sued his airline after it misplaced his luggage. Not surprisingly, he lost his case.
Aha.
It's a game show where I get to read cheesy puns.
Well, who wins? What's the game?
I win.
Oh, you win. Got it. You
I
get to
win. I
say
win.
your puns.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Who gets the car? I get the car.
I get all the prizes.
Is the Price is Right still on? I would love to be on the Price is
Yes.
Right. I think that'd be so fun.
Yeah, still Drew Carey, I think, still hosts. So yeah,
Okay.
it's still there.
Wait a second. Breaking news. Corduroy pillows, I say, are making headlines. Stop. No. You're too kind. No. Oh, please. The fans. Yes.
All right, so we have his own game show and The Price is Right. Okay, I'm a fan of the match game myself.
I was actually on the dating game once upon a time.
Really?
What happened?
It was. I got picked.
Then what happened?
And then nothing happened. We won.
You didn't go on the date?
Well, this is the funny thing because we won this trip, and I guess the audience is to believe that you go on this trip together.
Yeah.
I won a trip, and he won a trip. I don't know if he went on his trip, but I did not go on mine. And that was it. But
so they just give you tickets and itinerary and have a good time.
You didn't
yeah,
take
and I
it?
can't even remember where it was. No, because it was going to be taxed, and I was young and single and poor, and I was like, so I didn't know. I never went on the trip. It wasn't like,
Wow.
To Hawaii or anything. It wasn't like this
But
amazing.
you won. Yeah.
Like to Toledo. I don't know. But it
To
was
Des Moines. Yeah.
the biggest ball of yarn. I can't remember where the trip was.
To the cornfields of Omaha.
That's right.
Exactly. I didn't go.
A personal tour of Leavenworth.
You get to spend the night at Alcatraz.
That's right. See it from the inside out.
All right, there you have it. Oh, I was curious about that dating game. All right, cool. What do we have next? From Tony, what would be the dream role for each of you?
I don't have a specific role in mind because probably it hasn't been created yet. But I always wanted to, I wanted to be Ariel. I wanted to be a singing princess. So any, big part where I get to sing, that's what I want. But I also have franchises. Like I would really like to work in the Star Wars franchise, Star Trek. I'm a total nerd. I've already gotten to do Marvel. and DC, which is awesome. But anything in any of those realms, I would be a happy, happy nerdy girl.
Yeah. I like those answers. Yeah, that would be pretty cool to do something in, if they ever did like an animated Harry Potter, to do an animated Harry Potter.
Hmm.
You know, and I could do an English accent the entire time. Hagrid, is that a birthday cake for me? Yes, and dream role would be something with a silly English accent the entire time.
Leviosa.
Love it.
Every once in a blue moon, that they do try to start like an animated Harry Potter side project. Like the last time it was up for grabs, they were thinking about, let's focus on the other parts of the Harry Potter world. Let's do a little thing on what the American Academy is like over there and stuff like that. It just never quite gets off the ground. But every time it's been brought up, they want to do it animated.
I'm surprised it hasn't happened. It will at some point, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Mike already did my dream role in animation, though, which was Akira, because Akira was the thing that made me want to be a voice actor, you know. And then when Pioneer did the dub, I got to play Tetsuo. So been there, done that.
Tony, great question, and let's roll another one. From Jolene. If you could create a band of Digimon, what would the band's name be?
The Mon-Mons.
I was going to say Mon and the Monimons.
Yeah, call back. What would the band name be?
There you have it, Jolene. It was already set in stone before you asked. What do we have next? And here's one from...
The Digitones.
Oh, I like Digitones. That's good.
Yeah.
We're going to be thinking of these for the rest of the day.
Oh, here's one for Frank. What is the most memorable experience in your career so far?
There's been so many great things that have already happened, but I think what will end up being most memorable is this movie that's coming up for me. I cannot express in words how exciting it is to be part of this Sonic 2 movie. It's just every day there's something else. I'm like, what is happening? And it's just amazing and has been just a joy. And it's I don't have words. They haven't created words that will describe what this feels like, because it's amazing.
We are looking forward to it.
That is very exciting. We look forward to seeing it too. This, I have a lot of sympathy for news reporters from other countries that have that lag right now, because I'm hearing you guys and then I'm seeing it like a minute later, and then I feel like I'm talking over you, but you're not talking now. So I don't know what the timing situation is here. However, they said career, not voiceover career, so I'm going to take them literally. Yeah. So it would be when I went to Japan and South Korea and did my own TV specials with my live show, with my mentalism show. I did 4 TV specials, 2 in each country over there. I did one for TV Asahi and one for TV Japan with a translator. I don't actually speak Japanese. And then they showed images of the anime programs that I voiced in America, but of course they know the originals over there. And it just sort of brought everything in my 2 career paths together in front of a live audience with Japanese celebrities on stage for whom I was reading their minds. And it just came up in my Facebook memories today that the first one of those was 10 years ago today that I was filming that, in the one in South Korea anyway.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That is fantastic. How does one get into doing a mentalism act? I mean, what was the inspiration to go down that path?
There's a place in Los Angeles called the Magic Castle, and I lived 5 minutes from it in Burbank. And like most voice actors, I lived walking distance from Warner Brothers Animation. And so it was an easy drive after I would voice things in studio during the day to just go over the hill and do magic at night. And the type of magic that I specialized in is sleight of mind rather than sleight of hand. Yeah. And it's just years of doing it night after. Sometimes I was there 6-7 nights a week, like all the time, watching some of the best mystery performers in the world that would come through and perform on their stages. And then I won an award there, and I started to get interest for touring and agents, booking me around the country, eventually around the world. It's just like with anything in the performing arts, whether it's voiceovers or on-camera acting or doing mentalism or magic. Like, you just have to be committed to improving your craft a little bit every day, making connections and networking so that you can expand the reach of what you do to a larger, broader audience, and being in it for the long haul. Like, I didn't have any designs on a specific objective, like I want to be on TV or I want to play, Vegas or whatever. I just want to get better. It was the same with voiceovers. I just want to get better. And then, for me, it took years in both cases till I felt like, I was like good enough to be proud of my work. And at that point, people start to take notice, and then you get booked and you get more opportunities, and work begets work is a saying in our industry. Yeah. So the more you work, the more people know you and know your work, and the more opportunities you get. And then here we are 20 years later, still doing it.
All right, there you go. Frank, great question.
Also, it helps to be able to read minds.
What do we have next? From Brian, what's the best piece of advice you have received from a fellow actor or someone you look up to?
Best piece of advice. That's a good one. No, because I've gotten a lot of advice from a lot of different people, and because I asked a million questions because I had no idea, what I was doing when I got here. But I think, like my dad was really, he's always been like the rational, practical person in our family. And he was always like, I don't know if I'm probably not going to say this exactly the way he would, but it was always like, if anything bad ever happened, or you hit a roadblock or whatever, okay, this happened. What do you do to move forward? Where do you go to get around this roadblock? What is the next step? Okay, this happened and it's hard and it's whatever. But so I think I hold that one a lot, because rather than sit and wallow and be sad, like, yeah, you can do that. You can have your moment of being sad or mad or whatever those emotions are, but you can't let it cripple you. You can't make it stop you from moving forward. So I think that's one of the things that I always hang on to. My dad always said that. Oh, that happened. Now what do you do?
That is good advice.
Yeah.
I can't remember where I heard this advice, or if it's just advice that's a truism, but to be nice to everybody and easy to work with, because it's a people business, and it's a small community at a certain level, and not to judge anybody for the role that they're playing today, because everybody's got their own set of talents and values. And today's doorman at the comedy club could be running the TV network where you want to do a show a few years from now. So what comes around goes around. And I don't know that I've always lived up to that, but I've tried, to be a team player and a good person and nice to everybody, because there's a lot of talented people out there, but you don't want to work with all of them. And some of them you really do want to see and work with over and over again. Yeah. You want to be one of those people.
True words. Thank you, Brian, for that one. And we have one from producer Paul. With Joshua being a professional mentalist, could it be that the best advice he has ever received came from himself?
Whoa. Mind blown. I think
No. The more you know, the more you realize how much you have yet to know.
And that's one to grow on.
Ding. I think we got time for... Oh, here's one from Sherry. What is the one piece of advice you could give to an aspiring voice actor?
Just one? I tell people to take acting classes. It's voice actor. Take acting classes, improv classes, do theater, take voiceover classes. Learn your craft and learn how to play your instrument. It's great if you have a place to start, but you have to know how to play it.
It's like you took the words right out of my mouth. Yeah, I say the same exact thing. Everybody wants to know, how do I make a demo tape? How do I get an agent? How do I book an audition? Almost nobody asks, how do I become a better actor, like a voice actor, the acting part, the craft part. Like I keep saying, most of us came from the theater, usually musical theater or singing. So I taught dozens of these Zoom voice acting workshops, and I over the pandemic, and I think I'm done with that now, but like I put up a free voice acting class specifically for that, for people, because until they understand that your voice is an instrument and it's something that you need to train and learn how to play, it doesn't matter, how much time, money, or energy you put into trying to book a gig or make a demo. You're not going to be doing any favors to yourself until you get that fundamental solidly, under your belt.
Very much so. I always stress the ability to listen.
Yes.
The ability to listen. Yeah, exactly. Well, listening, and Joshua, this goes into your territory too, evangelism, the ability to listen and be able to ascertain what they're looking for. If you're in there and hearing what they're, get that, okay, he's telling me this, but I think he really wants me to go here.
That's my book. My book is on finding focus in a changing world. And like, that's what it's about. It's focusing on what you're doing. Whether it's acting or, working at a high level of performance in any regard, you have to be able to be totally present and focused on what you're doing in order to deliver your best work.
Yeah.
Listening being part of that.
Absolutely. Sherry, that was a great question, and best of luck in your future endeavors. Hopefully we'll have you on our panel sometime soon. And we are ready to go, almost done, but we can go out on a really fun one. And this comes from Lola. What would your crest virtue be?
Is there a sarcasm crest?
On this show, we'll say there is one.
Okay.
I'll still stick with courage, but in my life personally, something to do with like being a good parent. Like that's my most important virtue, if it's a virtue, is to raise my children well.
My parenting crest would be the crest of worry.
Really?
Well,
it's a very mom thing to say.
Yeah, very much so. And Lola, great question. Panelists, it's been an absolute delight. Any final words before we take our leave?
Thank you guys so much. Thanks for joining us. This was a blast. Good to see you, Josh.
Yeah, good to see you too. And shout out to Lex. Hope you're well wherever you are.
All of our thoughts for him and his family.
Yeah, and I mentioned about the free voiceover class. That's a real thing. Like, just it's not public on my site, but if you go to joshuaseth.com/VO, you can get that training for free.
And go see Sonic 2 on April 8th.
There you go. Joshua, show us the book cover one more time.
Shebang. There you go.
That's
Finding
good.
focus in a changing world, how to think differently and make the impossible possible. It was all the best life advice that I could put between two covers.
Very nice. And Colleen,
I don't have a book.
Oh, but you have a movie.
I have a movie.
Oh, we're so looking forward to that. Joshua, Colleen, once again, thank you for joining us on the GalaxyCon virtual stage. It's been my absolute pleasure to serve you all. And thank you to our audience for joining us. And thank you all for your great questions. Hope to see everybody again soon. Until then, bye-bye. Take care. And remember, smiles are free. Spend them often.